Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. It has been a month in June, and now we are on the first day of July. Whew, we're halfway there, honestly. Let's go ahead and get started with the news. Rosie O'Donnell slams Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, quote-unquote, pathetic $50 million wedding. Rosie O'Donnell called out the hefty price tag attached to Bezos and Sanchez's recent wedding in Italy, as well as their star-studded list of attendees. The Bezos wedding, she wrote on Instagram yesterday, it turned my stomach seeing all these billionaires gathering in the gross essence of it all, the show of it. If you're seeing rounds on your Facebook, Twitter, or other means about the new quote-unquote Squid Game cinematic universe, it is all fake. The viral Squid Game cinematic universe image is completely fake. The timeline, the actual real timeline photograph, was actually a fan edit of the Marvel panel at San Diego Comic-Con. It showed the MCU, quote, Phase 6, where the next new Avengers, the Kang Dynasty movie is planned to be released next year. We're learning more details about Anne Burrell's death and is now being possibly investigated as a possible overdose, according to the New York Police Department. And in The Onion on Tuesday, a driving surges in popularity, all thanks to the F1 film. Because of consumers wanted to, get into cars, and thanks to the F1 film that basically is a movie about cars, people are flocking over to their dealerships to buy a car. However, sadly, the popularity of driving reportedly pretty much went downhill whenever they first encounter a stop sign. Yeah, I feel bad for that, but just remember, it came from The Onion. Well, that's the entertainment news for you for this Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern.
I have sinned against you, my Lord, and I would ask that your precious blood would wash and cleanse every stain until it is in the seas of God's forgetfulness.
The voice you just heard was Jimmy Swaggart, a televangelist and a preacher, passed away yesterday at the age of 90 in Louisiana. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. Swaggart, who was caught in a 1988 sex scandal, has been preaching for decades after he first launched his ministry in the 50s. His death was announced yesterday on his public Facebook page, quoting, "Today our hearts are heavy as we share that Brother Swaggart has finished his earthly race and entered into the presence of his Savior, Jesus Christ." The Louisiana native was best known for being a captivating preacher with a massive following before being caught on camera with a prostitute in New Orleans in 1988, one of the strings of successful TV preachers being brought down in the 80s and 90s by sex scandals. He continued preaching for decades, but now with a reduced audience. The AP, as of right now, has not confirmed the cause of his death. Whenever we do get any more information, we will bring it to you. 100 celebrities are now calling for federal funding of the LGBTQ suicide prevention line. This was in response to President Trump's ending funding for the LGBTQ youth option on the National Suicide Hotline last month. Multiple stars signed an open letter with the Trevor Project, an LGBTQ advocacy group, which will include Ariana Grande, Gabrielle Union Wade, Jamie Lee Curtis, Pedro Pascal, and so many more. If you or your children are into K-pop, well, BTS is finally back. They will be releasing a brand new BTS album in the spring of next year, they said during a live stream on YouTube yesterday. They were discharged from their mandatory service in South Korea. They have to do at least 18 to 21 months if they're within the ages of 18 to 28 years old. Over in the UK, a chief rabbi is attacking the BBC for airing a, quote, "a vile Jew hate." The UK's chief rabbi has strongly criticized the airing of a vile Jew hate after a live broadcast of Bob Dylan's performance at the festival went out on the BBC, during which the band singer led a crowd in chants of, quote, "death, death to the IDF." Phelan wrote on his Instagram post days after the comment, quoting, "We are not for the death of Jews. We are for the dismantling of a violent military machine." Jennifer Aniston will be starring in a brand new series on Apple TV Plus, I'm Glad My Mom Died. This is reference to Jenny McCurry's memoir, and she will be serving as co-showrunner with Ari Katcher. No date as of yet whenever the series is expected to release. And this is kind of a little fun story. In Pet News Wednesday, the world's cutest rescue dog contest is now searching for the next furry star. People Magazine's World Cutest Rescue Dog Contest, presented by Pedigree, is back for its 8 years and is searching for a new adorable adoptive dog to turn into a superstar. People in Pedigree are looking for their next adopted dog to celebrate. Submissions are now open from July 1st to July 27th. The contest is open to all adopted canine competitors, regardless of shape, size, or age. If you'd like to learn more and to apply, you can visit people.com/rescue-dog-contest. That is people.com/rescue-dog-contest. All 3 words together. Aside from earning the title of the world's cutest rescue dog, the grand winner of this year's contest will receive a photo shoot, a feature in the People magazine and People.com, a year's supply of dog food from Pedigree, and a $1,000 donation to an animal rescue organization of their choice. Again, people.com/rescue-dog-contest. That is a little fun little kind of story for you for this Pet News Wednesday. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern.
We have the count here of not guilty on racketeering. This is coming in real time. We have count 2 also coming in here, not guilty. That is the sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura. Count 3, we have guilty. Count 3 is guilty for the transportation of Cassie Ventura. That is guilty. Count 4, this is the sex trafficking of Jane. That's a pseudonym. Not guilty. Count 5, we have guilty. That is 5 counts. We have a mixed verdict here.
A partial verdict on the Sean Diddy Combs trial has been given yesterday. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. Throughout this edition of Entertainment Report, we will look back at Combs' trial, how he got here, the reactions, and what could be next for Combs. We do want to warn you, though, that some things may be inappropriate, so viewer discretion is advised. We are not going to get into the nits and grits of all the details, but we do want to put that out just in case. It started right around 2023-2024 when civil suits were filed with accusations of sexual misconduct. Among the accusers was Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. On March 25th, 2024, federal agents questioned Combs at a Miami airport, seized his electronic devices, and let him leave for his vacation. Around the same day, Homeland Security agents also raided Combs' properties in LA, New York, and Miami, confiscating computers and other electronic devices. The search found various narcotics, as well as a number of weapons and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Very shortly after that, on September 16, 2024, Combs was indicted and was arrested that day. He is jailed at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. During his arraignment on September 17th, Combs pleaded not guilty and his bond was denied. Combs' trial begins on May 5, 2025. Jury selection just started a couple days later. After nearly a week, a panel of 12 jurors and 6 alternates were selected. The jury consisted of 8 men and 4 women, all between the ages of 30 and 74, from Manhattan, the Bronx, and Westchester County, New York. The prosecution alleged that Combs operated his business for criminal purposes, specifically to cover up his indicted crimes. They also claim he used his status and power in that. The defense acknowledged Combs' temper, but argued that the accusers were in a, quote, consensual, though toxic relationships. They labeled the statements against Combs as a money grab and asserted that his personal relationship are unrelated to his businesses. There has been multiple witnesses in the trial against Combs, including Ventura, who testified of quote-unquote freak-offs and quote-unquote hotel nights, which were the names of those drug-inclusive encounters. We reported it to you right around June 16th. A juror was dismissed due to inconsistencies with his residence. He initially claimed he lives in the Bronx, but later admitted to residing in New Jersey with his girlfriend. The judge suspected deception to secure a jury seat. He is replaced now by a 57-year-old man for Westchester. And this is now where the verdict part is coming in. Jury deliberations just began on June 30th. After nearly 12 hours, they announced a verdict on all counts except racketeering conspiracy. But just yesterday, after 3 days, the jury found Combs not guilty of racketeering conspiracy and 2 sex trafficking charges. However, he is found guilty of 2 counts of transporting Ventura, another former girlfriend, and a male sex worker for prostitution. After the verdict was made, Combs was on his knees in the courtroom with his head down in a chair, seemingly praying after avoiding life in prison on the highest charges in the case. Trump also weighed in on Combs' trial and the possibility of him being pardoned. On May 30th, 2025, President Trump stated that he wasn't following closely on the trial, but would certainly look at the facts if Combs was found guilty. So far at press time, we haven't heard anything from President Trump. Whenever we do, we will bring it to you. However, now it's time to figure out what is going to happen with Combs, as well as the reactions that's going on all day yesterday. Right now, each count of transportation or prostitution carries a maximum sentence of 10 years, meaning that he could face up to 20 years of prison for those 2 counts being guilty. At press time, he was denied bond again and now is awaiting sentencing. Whenever we do get an update, we will let you know. There is also a lot of mixed reaction. Here are just some notable ones that were all over the news yesterday. Combs supporters are now dancing in celebration with baby oil outside the court after the verdict. There is also another supporter who called the verdict, quote, wonderful and believed charges were exaggerated. Some music industry experts are believing now that Combs can make somewhat of a comeback. Combs' trial is now considered, quote, the most expensive prostitution trial in American history. Lastly, a little end to this story. A rat spooked a large group of journalists inside the courthouse with the name Rico the Rat, referring to Combs' racketeering charges. This will be the most influential moments in history. We want to let you know more details are coming throughout the days. So please stay tuned to the Entertainment Report for more details. Well, that's the entertainment news for you for this Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. Happy 4th of July, and I'll hopefully see you guys on Monday. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Monday, July 7th, 2025. Julian McMahon, Nip Tuck FBI and Charmed star, passed away at 56. McMahon passed away on July 2nd after a private battle with cancer, his wife Kelly McMahon announced. With an open heart, I wish to share with the world that my beloved husband died peacefully this week after a valiant effort to overcome cancer, she wrote in a statement to Deadline. He stars in his shows such as NBC's Another World, WB's Charmed, CBS's FBI and FBI Most Wanted, FX's Nip Tuck, which earned him a Golden Globe nomination for playing Dr. Christian Tony, and most recently Netflix's murder mystery series The Residents. On Saturday, there was a farewell concert for Black Sabbath. Fans tuned in for the live stream as well as in person for Ozzy Osbourne's tribute concert. Ozzy Osbourne and the original members of the Black Sabbath, the band credited for creating heavy metal, are playing their final show at a massive event held in their hometown of Birmingham, England. Alongside Black Sabbath, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and others will be there for the final show. Ozzy's last words before the end of the show: "Unfortunately, we come to our final song ever," he said with a pause. "I just want to say to you on behalf of the guys in Black Sabbath and myself, your support over the years have made it all possible for us to live the lifestyle we do. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you. We love you." The last song the group played is Paranoid. There's also some controversy going on with Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath fans are now slamming a disgraceful Marilyn Manson appearance during their farewell show. The statement aired between Sabbath and Osbourne's performances as the music world celebrated their legacy. A social media clip showed Manson, Brian Warner, sharing his joy of sharing a stage with Osbourne and Black Sabbath, having grown up as a fan. Quote, "It is an honor to be here featured this video. Congratulations, and I love you very much, Ozzy," he said, describing Osbourne as a friend. However, his appearance followed the cancellation of his first UK concert 2 weeks ago because of pressure from campaign groups and an MP. Disgraceful that he is on this otherwise outstanding Black Sabbath show, one social media user added. And on Real People Monday, we are following the sad news in Texas where massive floodings has happened over the weekend. A mom is now recalling daughter's rescue amidst flooding at a Texas camp, said staff, quote, "should have been on top of it." Nearly 24 girls remain missing after floods impacted the Christians' girl-only summer camp on July 4th. Serena Hanner Aldridge told the New York Times that her children hasn't shared a lot about what they experienced during the rescue, as dozens of other campers remain missing. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said during a press conference on July 4th that 23 girls out of 750 were missing from the camp near Guadalupe River following flooding, per ABC affiliate WFAA. Aldridge, who reunited with her 2 girls on the evening of July 4th, told the Times that those running Camp Mystic, quote, "should have been watching the Texas Division of Emergency Management in Kerr County," adding, "they were posting stuff yesterday morning, they should have been on top of it." As of this recording time, search and rescue efforts continued in the state. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Monday, July 7th, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Monday, July 14th, 2025. Over the weekend, Trump has now threatened to strip Rosie O'Donnell's U.S. citizenship as he says she is, quote, "a threat to humanity." Trump floated the idea of revoking the 63-year-old comedian actress' U.S. citizenship following her move to Ireland earlier this year. Trump said in a Truth Social post, because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell is not in the best interest of our great country, I am giving serious consideration to take away her citizenship. Ellen DeGeneres is now supporting Rosie O'Donnell amidst this. O'Donnell also responded to her social media, claiming Trump is, quote, a dangerous, old, soulless man with dementia who lacks empathy, compassion, and basic humility. Rising country star cancels multiple shows as he faces a misdemeanor charge in a deadly Nashville crash. Metropolitan Nashville Police Department issued a misdemeanor citation to Connor Smith, the Creekwood Rise singer, for failing to yield, resulting in a 77-year-old woman's death. Smith wrote in an Instagram post 4 weeks ago, I was involved with a tragic vehicle accident that resulted in the loss of a life. Not a day has gone by that I haven't grieved, prayed, and mourned. In the aftermath of the accident, Smith made the decision to cancel multiple shows in Ohio. He explained that he needed time to grieve and focus on his emotional well-being. Metallica is issuing copyright strikes against the U.S. government after the Pentagon used their song for training. The U.S. Department of Defense had to remove and re-upload a drone demonstration video after Metallica requested a takedown of using Enter Sandman without permission. The video, posted originally on X or Twitter by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, was originally paired with the Metallica track. According to the Rolling Stones, a representative confirmed to the site that the use of Enter Sandman has not been authorized. And on Real People Monday, a woman was struck by lightning while scrolling through Instagram. A 19-year-old woman was struck by lightning while in her home because she was busy scrolling on Instagram, and she is lucky to be alive. I heard the lightning strike, and then I heard a loud pop, and all I heard was ringing in my ear, the 19-year-old woman told WHNT News 19. I felt like stinging and stuff for my fingers to hear. Feels like I am struck with a fork in a light socket. After that, I couldn't comprehend things, and I started crying for 5 minutes. The 19-year-old fiancée called 911 and she was rushed to a local hospital. She was released from the hospital a short while later, with nurses noting she was, quote, lucky to be alive, as the electric current didn't reach her heart. That is an amazing true story there. Well, that's the entertainment news for you for this Monday, July 14th, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Well, guess what Elmo said yesterday? He said, among other things, for Donald Trump to be releasing the Epstein files. Yes, yesterday morning, Elmo's Twitter page was hacked with messages of anti-Semitism posts, as well as calling for violence against Jews and describing Trump as a puppet to Benjamin Netanyahu. In a statement to NBC News, Sesame Workshop described it as a disgusting messages. The Anti-Defamation League, a non-governmental organization that fights anti-Semitism, calls the hack appalling. Elmo's account has not made a post since the hacking. The character's other social media accounts do not appear to have been affected. The cause of death of YouTuber Michaela Raines, 29, has been confirmed. Michaela Raines died by suicide, the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office confirmed. News of the Fox Rescue Adventist and YouTuber star death was announced by her husband Ethan Raines in an Instagram video on June 22nd. Per the medical examiner, Raines passed away in a barn on her property in Minnesota. She was found dead on June 20th. And on The Onion on Tuesday, well, we got some new life hacks now being discovered by Gen C. Among other things are a DIY Uber, a night nap, and my personal favorite, Instagram in real life. For this week hack, you can meet people in real life and spend time with them. Oh, didn't that just blew your mind? Well, that's the entertainment news for you for this Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. An American Idol music supervisor, Robin Kane, was killed in a suspected double homicide. Kane, as well as her husband Thomas, were found dead in their Los Angeles home on July 14 from an apparent gunshot wound, LAPD confirmed to NBC News. Both were 70 years old. Authorities also confirmed to NBC News that there is currently no motive, but an investigation is still ongoing. As a result, a suspect is currently in custody. Dan Rivera, a paranormal investigator, died suddenly during tour with, quote, a possessed Annabelle doll. Rivera, who was hosting a national tour of the original Annabelle doll popularized by the Conjuring movie franchise, died suddenly following a stop with the New England Society of Psychiatric Research in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. He was 54 years old. Rivera's cause of death wasn't shared. The Adams County coroners listed it as, quote, pending, according to records viewed by USA Today. A right to die activist ends her life by starving herself to, quote, protect my children from seeing me choke and struggling to breathe. 2 years ago, Emma Bray, 42, was diagnosed with a terminal neurological condition called motor neuron disease. Bray, who was actively campaigning for dignity in dying, was an advocate for the assisted dying bill, which will allow adults in the UK who are terminally ill to have the choice of medical aid in dying. Bray said to the newspaper The Mirror, "Imagine seeing your child crying and upset and not be able to hug them and wipe their tears away." Bray decided to end her life by voluntarily stop eating or drinking. The mom of two announced her own death on Instagram July 14th, alongside a final photo of herself lying in a hospital bed. And a little bit more hopeful news for this Pet News Wednesday. A 3-year-old is said to become one of the youngest dog handlers to ever compete at the world's largest dog show. That's right, Kaylin Miller and her miniature Schnauzer, Siva, will qualify for the 2026 Circus Dog Show this summer. Kaylin and Siva were qualified after a ranking performance at the Three Countries Championship Dog Show. Kaylin went to her first dog show at just 8 weeks old, and her first word was doggy. That is an amazing Pet News Wednesday story for you. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Thursday, July 17th, 2025. If you have bought Yo Crunch yogurt, there is now a voluntary recall due to a possible plastic contamination. Danone said it initiated the recall in cooperation with the FDA on July 11th after consumers are, quote, reporting the presence of plastic pieces in the toppers, which has been potential to cause choking. The products come in 2 adjoining containers. The base is filled with yogurt and a separately sealed topper with various add-ins like Oreos, mini M&Ms, and so on. The transparent plastic piece may have sharp edges, with Danone said, quote, it could present a risk to consumers because some pieces are between 7 and 25 millimeters in length. Customers who purchase the recalled Yo Crunch products has been urged not to consume them. If you watch HGTV, 2 shows, as well as many others, will not be going back on air in the fall. Christina on the Coast, Flipping El Musas, as well as Bargain Block, Farmhouse Fixer, Married to a Real Estate, and Izzy Does It are all canceled and will not be appearing in the fall. Authorities are now sharing new details about the paranormal investigator found being dead after touring a possessed Annabelle doll. We reported to you yesterday about Dan Rivera, a paranormal investigator who died on July 13th during a tour in Pennsylvania showcasing the demonically possessed Annabelle doll. The Pennsylvania State Police said in a report yesterday that, quote, nothing unusual or suspicious was observed at the scene concerning Rivera's death. His cause of death is still pending. The New England Society of Psychiatric Research said in a statement shared with People, Dan was not only a vital part of our team for over a decade, but also a deeply compassionate, loyal, and dedicated friend. A juror in the Karen Reed case is now pleading guilty to violating grand jury secrecy. The plea news comes after a month after Reed's acquittal on murder and manslaughter charges in the death of her boyfriend and Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Jessica M. Leslie, 34, will be pleading guilty to federal criminal contempt of leaking sealed grand jury information, which will include witness names and testimony related to the Karen Reed case. Leslie's plea deal will include a one-day prison sentence deemed served, as well as 24 months of supervised release. And in a brand new segment called What in the World Thursday, a large piece of Mars on Earth is now fetching up to $5.3 million at an auction. The 54-pound or 25-kilogram rock named NWA 16788 was discovered in the Sahara Desert in Niger by a meteorite hunter in November 2023, after having been blown off the surface of Mars by a massive asteroid strike and traveling almost 140 million miles to Earth. The identity of the buyer is not immediately disclosed. Ooh, what in the world? That's a very big meteorite right there. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Thursday, July 17th, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Thursday, July 18th, 2025. We're learning more details now about the American Idol executive and her husband murders. They were dead for 4 days, and the cops only went inside after the second 911 call. The couple, Robin Kane and her husband Thomas, were found dead in their home on July 14th, just 4 days after the police first responded to reports of a burglary. The LAPD confirmed to People that 22-year-old Raymond Modarian has been charged in connection with the killings. On July 10th, around 4 p.m., police responded to a possible burglary. Although there was no signs of forced entry at the time, the couple was murdered that same day. Investigators are now believing that it was a random house invasion. According to the police, the couple was killed after returning home and encountering a burglary suspect, who is believed to have entered through an unlocked door. People can now confirm via a felony complaint with the Superior Court of Los Angeles that the killings occurred on July 10th, 4 days before police discovered the couple's bodies, and the same day police responded to reports of burglary. If you watch CBS during late night, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is now being canceled, citing financial reasons. TV's ongoing problems with late night has come for Stephen Colbert now, with CBS announcing yesterday that it's planned to end his Late Show after the next TV season, citing a, quote, financial decision. A CBS executive said in a statement, "We consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable and will retire the Late Show franchise in May of 2026. Coldplay's Kiss Cam now zeroes in on a mortified tech CEO and the alleged HR chief mistress. The couple, identified as Stromer CEO Andy Byron and the firm's chief human resource officer Kristen Cabot, scrambled to hide their face when they were caught on a kiss cam at Gillette Stadium near Boston on Wednesday night. As the camera panned towards them, Byron has his arms around Cabot's chest, with her fingers intertwined with his. Chris Martin, who was the lead singer of Coldplay, said tenderly, "Look at these two," before leaving him confused. He said after, "Oh wait, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy." Brian appears to be married while Cabot recently divorced her husband. A new dating app is now in the works, but this time is for Disney adults. A new app can help Disney lovers find their happily ever after now. The app, called Single Riders, is designed for people who share a mutual passion for Disney theme parks. The app is expected to have a romantic and friendship option. Many are excited about the concept as Disney adults often visit the theme parks by themselves. The founder of the app said in a TikTok video, "I did what any other Orlando local does, and I went to Disney. I realized we need a Disney dating app." Creator says they hope to release the beta version later this year. And finally, on a sad note, Connie Francis, Who's Sorry Now, and Pretty Little Baby passed away yesterday. It is with a heavy heart and extreme sadness that I informed you of the passing of my dear friend Connie Francis last night. Her close friend, Ron Roberts, confirmed on Facebook yesterday. Francis passed away just 2 weeks after she's been hospitalized due to extreme pain. Francis has recently been making headlines, though, with her 1962 song Pretty Little Baby becoming a huge hit on TikTok 63 years after she recorded the song. She was 87 years old. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Friday, July 18th, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern.
Pretty little baby, I'm hoping that you do. You can ask
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
Coldplay was right. They were having an affair. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Monday, July 21st, 2025. The fallout for the Coldplay Kiss Cam drama now continues, with Astronomer CEO Andy Bryan has resigned from his position. Bryan has resigned from his position following the viral Coldplay concert Kiss Cam with the Chief Human Resource Officer, Kristen Cabot. In Astronomer's latest statement, it reads, "The board will begin a search for our next chief executive as co-founder and chief product officer, Pete DeJoy, to serve as interim CEO." Citing a source, Axios reported last week that the company's public response was delayed, quote, due to the part of Bryan's slow resignation and exit package negotiations. As of the time of this recording, Bryan nor Cabot has spoken publicly about the Coldplay scandal. We will keep you informed. Stay tuned to the Entertainment Report for further details. The internet is now having a field day at the moment with Coldplay's concert Kiss Cam now starring in a video game. A Twitter X user has created a video game called Coldplay's Canoodlers, stylized with a retro 16-bit title. Jonathan Mann, the creator of the point-and-click game, wrote to X, "You're the camera operator and you have to find the CEO and HR lady canoodling." More fallout continues for the CEO. The wife of Andy Bryan has changed her last name on Facebook before deactivating her account. Megan Kerrigan Bryan has removed her last name and then swiftly deleted her Facebook account following the viral cheating allegations. Newsweek contacted Astronomer for comment via email on Friday, but has not gotten a response yet. As you heard before, the internet is having a field day with this, with memes, jokes, and even movie and TV clips are thrown around like crazy, ranging from The Office, The Sopranos, and Succession, and there's even images of Trump and Jeffrey Epstein in the similar pose. Also continuing with the fallout, everyone is laughing now from Astronomer's ex-staff after the CEO Kiss Cam drama. Reading, the text group and chains from former employees are like everyone's laughing and enjoying the hell out of what happened and him getting exposed, a former colleague said. The same source, one who reported directly to Bryan, described as the tech boss as a, quote, self-obsessive and labeled his leadership style as toxic. In other news besides the drama that's going on with Coldplay's Kiss Cam, Dog the Bounty's hunter stepson Gregory Seca shoots and kills his 13-year-old son in a, quote, tragic accident. Seca allegedly shot his 13-year-old son Anthony at his Naples, Florida apartment on Saturday. Police confirmed to TMZ that the response to a call about a shooting around 8 p.m. local time, authorities called the tragedy a, quote, isolated incident and said they haven't made any arrest. No further information has been given. With the cancellation of The Late Show, Jon Stewart is now addressing a possible Daily Show cancellation. Stewart addressed the speculation that his late-night Comedy Central talk show might be canceled because of the network's parent company, Paramount Global, prepares to merge with Skydance Media. Ellen DeGeneres says she is now permanently moved to the UK because of Donald Trump, quoting, "Everything here is just better." This is following as Trump has revoked Rosie O'Donnell's U.S. citizenship. The comedian initially planned to live in England part-time, but said Trump's re-election inspired her and her wife to stay now year-round. And kind of a little ironic story for Real People Monday, a group of, quote, disruptive UK teens arrested at an airport after causing chaos, including allegedly using fake IDs to buy alcohol. Virgin Atlantic says in a statement that one of his flights on July 14th involved a disruptive passenger who was later apprehended by authorities at London Heathrow Airport. The teenagers were arrested and had their electronic travel authorizations to the UK revoked. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Monday, July 21st, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. The Cosby Show actor Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away Sunday, authorities confirmed. Warner, who was a teenage son to Theo on The Cosby Show, passed away Sunday in an accidental drowning in Costa Rica, authorities there said Monday. Costa Rica's Judicial Investigation Department say Warner drowned Sunday afternoon on a beach on Costa Rica's Caribbean coast. He was swimming when a current pulled him deeper into the ocean. He was rescued by people on the beach, the department initial report said, but first responders from Costa Rica's Red Cross found him without vital signs and he was taken to the morgue. His final credits came in TV guest roles, including appearances on The Wonder Years, Grownish, and 911, where he had a 4-episode arc last year. He was 54 years old. Pool owners, if you have any of these pools, from Bestway, Coleman, or Index, above ground pools, please listen. There is a recall going on that resulted in 9 children has been drowned in them. The recall pools, up to 5 million or 48 inches and taller above ground pools that use compression straps. These straps are wrapped around the pool on the outside of the supporting poles and may cause a foothold, allowing the child to access the pool and drown. The recall pools were sold since 2002 for some models. Please check the Consumer Product Safety Commission's website for model numbers and years if you have these pools. CPSC is asking consumers to contact Bestway, Index, or Coleman to request a repair kit. In the meantime, consumers should ensure that the children cannot access the pool unattended or alternatively drain the pool until the repair can be installed. CPSC believes that 9 children between the ages of 22 months and 3 years have drowned after gaining access to the pools via the footholds. The incidents occurred ranging from California all the way down to Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Missouri, plus many more between 2007 and 2022. A new trend is now going around, the Gen Z stare. The Gen Z stare, according to the New York Times, what many, quote, social media users have said in the blank stare that members of younger generation give in situations where verbal response should be common. It has gained notice in the mainstream media this month. There are some ideas about the possible root cause behind the Gen Z stare. The University of Alabama associate professor said that it looks become more prevalent on campus after COVID-19 protocols. Another reason is influence on social media, which also led to being fear of being judged or canceled online. Also, not wanting to be cringe is additionally a common theme. Jimmy Kimmel and his family team up to now slam Trump, who was warned that Kimmel's late night show might be next. Kimmel slammed Trump from his vacation, sharing a family photo of an anti-Trump protest with the hashtag #GoodTrouble, adding, May every day be another wonderful secret. The line is referring to a cryptic letter that Trump allegedly wrote to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, as reported by the Wall Street Journal. In the photo, Kimmel with his wife are pictured in anti-Trump shirts with their children. Each member of the family is holding up a sign with phrases such as "Don't bend the knee," "Make America good again," and "I wish we had a better president." And on the Bail on B Tuesday, state-run propaganda program is now shutting down, along with NPR and PBS. A state-run propaganda program hosted by Stephen Colbert, of all people, announced that it will be shutting down due to a loss of funding. The Late Show, filmed at the historic Ed Sullivan Theater, transitioned from late-night comedy to officially sanctioned state-run propaganda in 2015 with the hiring of Colbert. Colbert said, addressing the cancellation on his program, "I thought maybe our ratings were down, but CBS informed us that that's not why they fired me. So it must be Trump's fault, right? Boo Trump, right, audience?" According to Colbert, he was thankful for his time penning lies about the COVID vaccine being safe and effective in pushing DEI incentives in work. The only regret was failing to prevent a Trump presidency twice. Well, just remember it came from the Bail on B. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Thursday, July 24th, 2025. Malcolm Jamal Warner's 8-year-old daughter was swimming with him, now being pulled to safety by a surfboard by a surfer. According to a new report from ABC News, the actor was swimming with his 8-year-old daughter on Sunday when he drowned. The police told ABC News that surfer spotted Warner and his daughter struggling in the water and dove in to try to help them. One surfer reportedly used his board to pull Warner's daughter to safety, while a volunteer lifeguard assisted in helping bringing the actor and another surfer to shore. The outlet noted that on the shore, Warner was given 45 minutes of CPR. His daughter is reportedly safe. We reported to you yesterday as well that the second individual who attempted to help Warner was in critical condition. He has now been discharged from the hospital without complications. A doctor is now being charged in Matthew Perry's ketamine death, pleaded guilty, to supplying the drug. Former doctor Salvador Placencia pleaded guilty to 4 counts of distribution ketamine during a hearing in Los Angeles yesterday morning, the Department of Justice said. Placencia was one of 5 people charged in wake of Perry's death for a ketamine overdose on October 28, 2023, at the age of 54. Former Bravo star Diamond Tankard was arrested after allegedly attacking a woman with a rock-filled sock at Walmart. Tankard is accused of attacking another woman with a sock full of rocks while she was at the self-checkout counter at a Nashville Walmart. She then allegedly stole the victim's possessions. Tankard was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and theft over $1,000. She was bailed out on a $25,000 bond, and her next court appearance will be August 22nd. Tankard starred in Bravo's Blood is Thicker Than Water show. If you noticed yesterday, the White House Rose Garden is officially gone. The President and the First Lady has pioneered a restoration project in the historic White House Rose Garden that includes paving over a Kennedy-era green space. The President previously said that the grass posed a problem for press conferencers and guarding the fence, noting that women's heels could sink into the dirt. It is almost completely paved over to take in a new form of a patio area. And on What in the World Thursday, a mom and teen daughter found dead almost 4 months after a call for ambulance that never came. The woman and her 18-year-old daughter were found dead in their UK home almost 4 months after the daughter requested an ambulance that never arrived, according to testimony presented earlier this week. A pathologist said the mom and the daughter could have been dead for weeks or months before they were discovered. It has been determined that the mom died of pneumonia, while the cause of death of her daughter remains unknown. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Thursday, July 24, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern. Good morning, I'm Grady the Intern, and this is your entertainment news for this Monday, July 28th, 2025. The most popular free app in the App Store is now a victim of a data breach. T, a provocative dating app, decided to let women anonymously ask or warn each other about men they encountered, rocketed to the top spot on the U.S. App Store last week. On Friday, the company behind the app confirmed that it has been hacked. Thousands of images, including selfies and driver's license, were leaked online. 404 Media, which earlier reported the breach, said it was 4chan who discovered the exposed database that, quote, allowed anyone to access the material from T. A female columnist from the Times of London newspaper called the app a man-shaming site. We'll keep you informed. Stay tuned to the Entertainment Report for further information. Got a little satirical movement going on for Astronomer, the company. They hired Gwyneth Paltrow as the temporary spokesperson after the CEO and the HR executive resigned amidst the Coldplay Kiss drama. Paltrow's ex-husband is ironically Chris Martin, the lead singer of the band Coldplay. They were married for almost a decade before announcing their separation in 2024. Astronomer released a satire YouTube video with Paltrow as the spokeswoman. If you do watch E! News for your entertainment news, well, it is now shutting down. The Comcast's own news network, E! News staff, announced Thursday that the program would tape its final episode on September 25th. The channel's news operation will continue to provide coverage online, however, with its more robust presence. Just as a clarification as well, the E! Network will not shut down, just the news department. Also, a little strange news going on as well. Jenna Bush Hager has cursed on the Today Show, breaking the NBC and even FCC rules, quoting, "I felt worried like I was going to get a call from the boss." Hager, who unknowingly broke FCC broadcast law on July 24th's episode Today with Jenna Freds, the slip-up occurred about the co-host Willie Guy's son, George. She apologized on air and admitted to feeling intense shame over the slip-up. And on Real People Monday, a teen is now vowing to keep surfing after being attacked by a shark in the shark bite capital of the world. Sam Hollis, an 18-year-old surf instructor, according to NBC affiliate WESH, was in the middle of giving a lesson at New Samaria Beach, known as the shark bite capital of the world, when he was attacked while sitting on his board with his feet dangling in the water. The kick was enough to make the shark flee, but first it sunk his teeth into the teen's foot. Fortunately, Hollis was able to swim away and get help on shore, where he was taken to the hospital. Hollis told WESH that although he still needs to use crutches or some other mobility aid for a while, once he's out of the hospital, he's already thinking about getting back on his board. Well, that's the entertainment for you for this Monday, July 28, 2025. I'm Grady the Intern.